Hello and welcome to another episode of Why Would You Tell Me That? You can't see this if you're listening in audio only, but we have a beautiful podcast dog right in front of us called Lola.
Lola usually lies down at our feet, but today she's decided she wants attention. She's standing up.
I am going to do an FAQ for... David Doherty did a FAQ for the DOD, which is a great song. People ask him most common questions, yes. I suppose. I'm going to do an FAQ for stop asking me why the dog has 3 legs.
Oh, really? People ask why?
They always ask. I walk the dog and they go, it's such... Like, I know they're curious.
Yeah.
And it's usually after they've shown affection to the dog.
Sure.
So that's why I don't want to immediately murder them.
Yeah.
You know, but I have been asked it nearly every single time when I'm walking the dog. So we got the dog, we fostered the dog and then adopted the dog after she lost her leg. Now, as far as I know, it was an accident of some sort and the leg didn't heal, like a road accident, and the leg didn't heal, and that's why the dog has lost a leg.
Well,
however, I have decided...
Yeah, I was going to say, sure, I surely can't wait to hear where the story goes in the tales you have concocted for the annoying people.
Landmine is one of
Okay, that's a good one.
If you go scream into the face landmine and then look into the middle distance as if you're having a PTSD episode, that usually stops them. She tried to open Michael O'Leary's wallet and it snapped shut like a guillotine is the other one. Sometimes I pretend that I don't realise that she should have 4 legs.
Oh, that's clever.
That's the other thing.
Are all dogs not tripedal?
Yeah.
This is what? Are you telling me?
And they're like, what? And I go, yeah, spider dog. 4 legs.
Yeah. Come on.
And the one I think is... Because what you have to do is, say they see you with a 3-legged dog and they know... Well, and they can see the affection that comes off you and waves for her and vice versa. I think if you then say something shocking...
It amplifies it even further.
Then they stop, yeah. So we flew home. We fostered her from the UK, and when we flew home, we realised we were slightly over the baggage weight allowance. That is the one that usually stops the conversation, and I can go about my day. Yeah.
I wasn't taking a jacket out of the bag and wearing it. I was
standing there with a 2-litre bottle of vodka.
Come on.
But anyway, this is our second episode with her.
It says. Speaks volumes, I think, about both of us, that you're not sure what happened to her and you own her. And I've known her for as many years as she's been here, and it's never crossed my mind to ask why the dog has her. I've never asked you that.
No, you never have, actually. That's amazingly sensitive of
I'm
you,
a heart
actually.
full of acceptance.
And have you looked and thought, but then never asked?
No. It just doesn't occur to me.
Okay.
Like, why does that dog have 3 legs? Like...
You know, there's another dog who looks exactly like her, but it's her back leg that is gone. Which for some reason I find very amusing as well. When we fostered her first, I know we haven't started the podcast.
No,
but
this is the podcast.
Podcasts are allowed to be whatever they want.
That's the joy.
One of my cousins went, because it's her front leg that's gone. One of her front legs that's gone. And one of my cousins went, it's an awful shame they didn't cut off her back leg instead. And I was like, you know they get rid of the injured leg, don't you? It
wasn't just a random choice.
Eeny, meeny, miny. She didn't steal something in Saudi Arabia and something had to be done.
Or like when somebody gets a piercing, goes, well, they go left ear, right ear, nostril. The dog walks up and goes, I think I'll go front right. I'll go front right.
Which is your non-dominant leg at the start. Do you remember when we were kids and it was like, if you had an earring in that ear, you like guys.
Oh, yes.
Do you think in the dog world, it's... She's like, oh.
Lolly, a big lesbian.
Yeah, she's an absolute legend and everybody loves her. It is another episode of Why Would You Tell Me That? In part 2, I have decided to tell you only about one thing. I think you're going to be sufficiently interested and the story is good enough for that to be the second half. But this is the first half.
Just to be here in this room alone with you, Lola, is enough for me. Whether you brought facts or not.
Imagine if we released a podcast that was just us sitting in silence, like some sort of retreat. Did you ever go on a retreat as a kid?
Yeah, I did.
Like
many
a holy
times.
one?
Yeah, holy ones, yeah.
And what happened?
Yeah, you're just sitting around a lot.
We went on one. I can't
only
remember
one?
where. Yeah.
I went to Taizé. Did you ever hear about Taizé?
No. Is that where it was in Kuluk and you fired laser weapons at each other?
Taizé, that would be amazing.
Leisureplex. Taizé Quest, wasn't it?
Taizé was somewhere in France, and they had a particular style of singing, which was kind of multi-harmony, very meditative. If anyone, in fact, producer Diarmuid, insert some Taizé singing here.
Taizé.
So, beautiful singing. But there was some priest was like father whoever ran it. But the school was obsessed that I went to was obsessed with Taizé.
It's a Jesuit school, yours was.
Yeah, it was Jesuit school. Yeah, I don't even know whether it was Jesuit, the thing we went to, but whatever. So we went to this, like, it was very cultish in ways. Imagine that, organisers. But there was a huge room. Now, honestly, it is genuinely one of the kind of core memories I have as a young fella. It was this huge room of people, like it's all carpet. Everyone's kneeling, possibly sitting, I think, because we were there for a long time.
Yeah.
Now, when I say huge room, I mean like full gym, like 3 gyms, like school, like, so full basketball court, like 3 of that, right?
Really?
Like huge, thousands of teenagers from all over Europe in there. And everybody got a candle with some kind of a piece of paper or cardboard kind of at the end. So when the wax melted, it wouldn't go on your hand. Like a movie we talked about, Onashenko or whoever it was, with the cheating at the fencing.
Yeah.
So like kind of like that. So you were holding a skinny candle, looked like a small sword, and then there was like a hand protector at the bottom. Anyway, I can't tell you how beautiful 1,000 candles are in a room, and how everybody takes on the look of a supermodel, male or female, because everyone's lit by candlelight.
And you're all horny anyway.
Everyone's singing, and everyone, like, you couldn't be hornier, because all around you is French, Swiss, German, Italian,
and you're like 16,
Polish. You're 16.
with a candle.
You're exotic to them. They're exotic to you. That you know that they've been outside watching you doing the busking when you were playing secular tunes.
You devil!
And now you're in
secular
giving
tunes,
flat 7th harmonies on Taizé songs. It was, I'll tell you, that moment stays with me.
Oh God!
I'm just saying.
Every so often you think about it.
It was
I like the way you say you're exotic to them and they're exotic to you. Yeah, but they're exotic to you in a kind of you're on safari and you see a beautiful leopard, like in the Hindu Kush, like a snow leopard.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas you're exotic to them like a strain of a bacteria. On like this really pale, freckly E. coli on a slide
under a microscope,
with a woman with her hair in a net and a white coat.
Yes.
I mean, exotic in that you haven't seen it that often.
Yeah,
but you wouldn't want to bring it home.
It will probably cause you serious
Whereas
damage.
they're all lithe and French and
all that.
That is quality.
I'm going to stay international.
I never went to Taizé.
Okay.
I went to a place called Mosnay. And Mosnay was in County Meath. If I just pronounce it differently.
Yeah, that's true.
And we did the community games.
Surely Gamez.
Gamez.
You can say Gamez.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay international for the facts in the first half of the podcast today. The World Cup is here.
Yes.
God bless the American immigration thing. No, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about, I have a question for you. Why do Germany wear a green kit, an away kit?
So their home kit, the seminal home kit for me is the white one from 1990, Jurgen Klinsmann with the flag across the top.
Yeah,
which
the black,
people still
red.
wear.
Oh, people wear it all the time.
Black, yellow, and red. But they do wear the green one, which I think they were against England, didn't they? A lot of times.
Yes.
1996
they're
probably.
Alternate kit, yeah.
Why did they wear green? I don't know.
The story
is
that after the Second World War,
I'm familiar with this.
Germany were, let's call them, cast out briefly from society. And at one point, they decided they needed to play a game of football. And they reached out to the Irish, who played them in a game of football. And to honour the fact that Ireland was the first team to play against Germany after the Second World War, they now wear a green shirt as their alternate. That, my friend, is absolute poppycock. But everyone says it's true.
Oh, really?
It's one of the most
complete myth.
farmed out stories, but it is a myth.
Okay.
It's not true. Switzerland were the first team to play Germany after the World War, not the Irish. We did play them relatively early in the thing, and we did, I guess, due to our neutrality, indeed maybe Switzerland's neutrality, felt like we didn't take sides in the war, so we'll reach out the olive branch.
We didn't take sides in the war, but it was very much pro-Allied.
Very much
talked about on the show before.
Yeah. So no, it was actually Switzerland that played them first. The reason that they wear green is because the colours of the DFB, the German FA, are green and white.
Oh.
The reason the jersey is white and not black, yellow, and red, which is their flag, is because the colour of the DFB is white and green. So white is the home jersey, a green is the away jersey.
Ah, okay.
Now in this world of third kits, they have blacks and they have different whatever. But anyway, the two traditional kits are those. So the white shirt for home games, green for away games. They also wore the green shirt against Argentina in the World Cup final in 1986. They lost the final, but they played really well. It was a 3-2 game. Maradona.
Yeah.
Like,
Hand of God against
Hand of
England
God
in
World
the same
Cup.
tournament.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, he
and
dominated.
then the greatest goal ever scored.
Yes,
Just
quite
right
possibly.
afterwards.
Exactly. So after the Maradona final, and yes, Argentina beat Germany, but they felt like we played so well in the green that it really cemented it now as a thing where there's always going to be the green option. Japan.
Yes.
Japan's flag is?
It's white background and the rising sun, big red circle in the middle.
And their
Disc.
football jersey is?
Not that.
Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, this is a really interesting one. In samurai tradition, samurai ahead of a big battle would dye their vestments, their cloaks, their clothes, their armor, everything, an indigo blue. So indigo blue is a really important color in Japanese cultural history. And so what they would do is they would dye that. It became so important that it then transferred onto the Japanese team when they formed football. No, it didn't. That's a complete myth. And again, it's farmed out.
Are you going to keep
all
doing
the
this?
time. No, I'm not going to keep doing it. I will eventually get to the real
Okay.
stories. The real reason that the Japanese wear blue, and they do wear blue, is because the sea, Japan is an island, and the sea around Japan is blue. So the important color, other than the white and red that is traditionally on their flag, is this. It represents the sea around the island.
Oh, okay.
That's a myth as well, which is also
Stop
farmed out.
doing
No,
this.
I'm not going to stop doing it. I'm going to do it for a little while. The reason
is the original president of the Japanese Football Association went out with Bonnie Blue. And that is
God.
the main reason.
Oh, no, do
and
not
all
bring that
of
into this podcast.
the descendants that he produced. Okay, go on.
No, this is genuinely the truth.
They rode in on the back of a blue whale.
No, stop messing.
In
stop
Japanese tech. No, go on.
messing. The East Asian Games.
Yes.
In 1926, Japan sent a university team to represent the country in the East Asian Games. And that university's colours were blue. They did really well. They also then, 10 years later, went to play in the World Cup. They needed a kit decision. They went, well, look, we sent the university out there. Let's go blue. They played in blue. They played against Sweden in 1936 and they beat Sweden, which was a huge thing for Japan. So that colour then, much like the green of Germany against Argentina, because they did so well in the game.
Did it look?
It has now, exactly. It has
Yeah.
now stuck. It's been Japan's colour ever since. And funny, in the late 80s and early 90s, they looked at like the rugby team play in red and white. Other sports represent Japan in red and white.
yeah.
And they kind of went, no, we should be playing in red and white. So they changed their jerseys to red
Lost.
and white. Lost everything. They were
Right.
terrible. It coincided with a terrible time in Japanese football, but it doesn't matter. The feeling was there that this was like, no, this is not working. So they've gone back to blue and they've stuck there ever since. Why does Scotland play in blue?
Well, I would have said the flag.
The flag, yeah.
Saltire.
And you're right, immediately gone, no,
Okay.
that's not why. Practically exactly the same story. They were represented internationally by Queen's Park, the club. And they wore blue. So they were sent out to represent Scotland. They wore blue. They did really well. And Scotland went, yeah, we'll take that. It was a case of, it's also on our flag. But you think about the colour of the blue
Yeah.
is, I know people again listening can't see, but my hat's kind of the phalamine blue, the kind of light enough blue that's on the flag, whereas their jersey is distinct navy. But anyway, I think it's just from that Queen's Park team representing them in Scotland gone, we'll stick with that navy colour, that'll do us. A brilliant thing, my mate flew in from Edinburgh yesterday just to hang out for a couple of days, and he lives in Edinburgh, but the World Cup has, like it would do here, Italian 90, USA 94.
Of course.
It has consumed Scotland.
Well, they haven't been there since 1998, so
No.
wouldn't you drink it in?
It's just so good. So in Edinburgh Airport, he took a picture of, there's a wall, and it's a starting 11 for Scotland, right? So Andy Robertson's there as captain. He's crouched down in the front with 4 other players, 6 players at the back, and one of the players has been kind of blurred out, so you can crouch down in front of that and get a picture like you're in. And obviously they're all flying out in their jerseys, so
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense. But the best thing, and I love the way Scotland does this, Scotland treats English like it's its own language, right? So if you've got your Scottish accent, and again, apologies to the Scots, I'm going to employ it here for a second. They would say like, be part of it, because that's what you're doing. You're crouching in a photo.
Yeah.
Be part. Yeah.
Yeah.
PARTY. Be party it, not partay.
Yeah.
Not part of. Party. Be party it. It's so good. It is so good.
I saw the same thing on a bin in Yorkshire. It was written in the way people speak.
Oh, I
Yorkshire.
love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Italians flag is.
Green, white, and red.
And famously, the Italian football team is called.
Yep, they play in the blue.
Then they're called the Azzurri. Yes, they're called the Azzurri. That's to honour the ruling royal family at the time they started to have international football games. There was the Savoy family, and their colours are their crest and
They
their
have
flag.
cinemas.
They do have
Big cinema family.
and hotels.
And hotels.
Yeah.
And biscuits. They have a lot of interests.
They do.
Yeah.
They were blue. So they just, that stuck. Again, same thing. They did well. The Dutch wear orange because of their royal family.
Yeah.
The Nassaus and the orange and all that.
Even though the flag, again, doesn't have orange on it.
White, red, and blue.
Yeah.
The Aussies.
Yes.
So their flag is the blue with the white and the red.
Yes,
the
and the
Union
Union
Jack
flag,
and the
yeah.
stars and whatever. So why do they wear
play
orange and gold?
They play.
Gold and green.
Gold and green. Because gold and green are real Aussie colours. Anyway, but why?
But why?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Their national floral emblem is something called a wattle, whose
Right.
countries or colours are green and gold.
I thought a wattle is that bit under, when you get older, is that bit under your neck.
God, yeah, I'm definitely getting a wattle. I'm definitely going to get one of them.
Like a little turkey.
Yeah, it hangs out.
That's,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's because of the flower. Croatia.
yes.
So they've got a blue flag.
blue flag with a little bit of red and white in it.
Yeah, and symbols and whatever. But it's the Czech pattern. The Czech pattern is related to the royal coat of arms of the royal family that ruled the nation again back when they were starting. But that red and white jersey to me is one of the most iconic ones. I got the away.
Is this 19 like Davil Suker
Better than that.
year?
Yeah, that era, right? So I fell out of love. You won't believe this, but I fell out of love with football. So I was obsessed as a kid.
Did something replace? Listen, when did it happen, first of all?
Around the time of Taizé. No. Yeah, it probably was around that time.
You were about 15 or 16?
I'd say so, yeah.
So you loved football, but it had just gone stale. Like, did GAA walk by in tight mescal shorts, or what happened?
I don't know. It was girls
football
and
take you for
music.
granted?
No, it was
Okay.
girls and music and everything else that was going on in my life at the time. Just superseded. Football
Okay.
dropped down.
Okay, but it wasn't
the priority.
replaced.
Wasn't replaced by
Okay.
anything in particular, but it just dropped down the kind of priority list. And then in 1998, I bought a PlayStation 1 off a guy I worked with in the petrol station. And
Your Honor. It sounds like I should have said, please say that louder for the tape. That's what that sounds. You bought a PlayStation from a fella you worked with at a petrol station.
Yeah, he
Okay.
worked there too. And he had one or two, I think he had two games. One was Gran Turismo, the original, and the other one was FIFA 96. And FIFA 96, let me tell you, that game, like when you took a throw in FIFA 96, there was a sound effect. Now think about it. If you throw a ball, and nowadays the long throws come back into vogue, there's no sound. There's the most sensitive microphones in the world at the side of the pitch. You hear nothing. But on FIFA 96, you take a throw and then it goes. Whoosh.
Yeah.
So we used to just love taking throw-ins. Anyway, as happens when you start playing one of these games, you become obsessed with the teams. It was all international as far as I can remember. I don't know if they had the rights to the clubs. But anyway, on this thing, we would play, we used to call them tournois. Okay, so the tournoi, do you remember in France, or in England in, was it 98? 96. So the tournoi was, we'd set up like a last 32 or a last 16, depending on, and we'd play into the night. Like long game, like 20 minutes a half. Like
Boban and
you're on to all of them.
Davil Suker.
So Davor Suker,
he chipped.
Zvonimir Boban.
Oh, yeah.
He was my guy. And I got the away, because of FIFA 96, I think it was 98 or 2000. Anyway, I got the blue, deep royal blue away Croatia shirt, which had a little V, which had the red and white check in it. And on the back, it was Boban 10. Zvonimir Boban.
I have a PSG jersey from when I was 15 on because I did a French exchange.
Wow.
Right, and I was about 15 because I did a French exchange with a guy, and he supported PSG, and he knew I liked football, and I have it, right. And then one day when I did Dancing with the Stars, I realized I just grabbed. I was late for the practice stuff,
Right.
and I grabbed it out of the closet.
Yeah.
There was an old AC Milan jersey that had the collar and the collar. Do you remember that
Oh, a
one?
double
It
collar.
had a collar and a collar.
Yeah.
And I put this on, and you're midway through an energetic Charleston thinking, can I keep up with the professional dancer?
Sure.
And you realise that the jersey you're wearing is older than your dance partner.
The dance partner.
And you think, this is not the show.
No.
We'll have to let Podcast Dog out.
Podcast Dog has to go. Pause podcast while Podcast Dog leaves. You've got to admire Podcast Dog's understanding of equipment. Like, my dog, who is no longer with us, but when I had her, would have just barreled out through microphones. You need your microphone. Microphones, cameras, like it would not have cared.
Yeah, you become more aware of what you can get into and what you can get out of when you've got one leg.
3 legs.
3 legs.
One
Three
leg
legs.
missing.
Yeah.
Finally, I want to tell you about this, right? No, not finally, actually, second to last.
Penultimately.
Do you know there are 8 pairs of brothers playing at World Cup 2026?
This one.
This one. 4 pairs play on the same team, and 4 pairs play on different teams.
I mean, you say that, you do realise you're talking to an Offaly man. You do realise that the basis of our success in the 70s, 80s and 90s was
one
two
family,
families.
2 families. Yeah.
Really?
So Urian and Quinton Timber are both in the squad for the Netherlands.
Okay.
Lucas and Theo Hernandez famously play for France. Leandro and Juninho Bacuna play for Curaçao.
Oh, yeah. Which I have a great fact about. Go on.
Okay.
I think.
Well, hit me with now if you have it.
Friend of mine said to me that they took. Now I haven't checked this.
Sure.
But he's the type of person who will do this. I think they've taken our record as the only country in the World Cup without a player from their domestic league. Because when Ireland played in the World Cups, we never had one person.
Players that played in the League of Ireland.
And I think even those lads, when Northern Ireland got there in 86 and 82, I think they would have one dude from
Glentoran
or Linfield or
okay,
whoever.
wow. Amazing.
But we need to check that out. So
Okay.
that is a disclaimer.
Derek and Laros Duarte both play for Cape Verde.
Oh, wow.
So they're the 4 pairs of brothers playing for the same teams. 4 pairs of brothers playing for different teams. Brian Brobby plays for the Netherlands. His brother Derek Lucassen plays for Ghana.
No way.
Yeah. So Brian, it's one of those choices you got to make.
Yeah.
Like famously, the Darren Fletcher played for
Scotland.
Manchester United and Scotland. He's as Scottish as they come. You hear him talking, but his kids grew up in England, in Manchester, and one of them has declared for Scotland, and one of them has declared for England. So at one point, they will face each other on opposition things, and this could happen in this World Cup.
It's like a Sean O'Casey short novel, short story. No, Liam O'Flaherty short story, I think it is.
Harry Suttar plays for Australia, and John Suttar plays for Scotland.
Really?
Yeah. Nico Williams plays for Spain. Iñaki Williams plays for Ghana. And Desiree Doué, one of the finest footballers I've ever seen play football, plays for PSG. I just saw him in the Champions League final. Plays for France. His brother Gaëla Doué plays for Côte d'Ivoire.
That's very
It's
cool.
very cool.
I mean,
isn't
the
it?
tension in the house.
Yeah.
Do you know when your ma's from Cork and your dad's from Tipperary, there's a bit of tension in your house? When you're playing for the Netherlands and Ghana, respectively. I was going to tell you something there. What were you saying there? Oh, yeah. A friend of mine was talking about the basketball and LeBron James and the son.
Bronny.
Yeah. And saying, was there anything ever like that in soccer? And I was thinking, I think Eidur Gudjohnsen was subbed on for his dad for Iceland.
Wow.
I think his dad came off and Eidur Gudjohnsen went
Came on. Brilliant.
Yeah. We'll check that in the break.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm trying to think in the Premier League, has there been father? I think there's a father and son memory in my head.
Is Ashley
recently?
Isn't Ashley plays for Burnley? Is it? Not Ashley Barnes
Go on.
and his son.
His son, yeah.
We'll check this.
Yeah, you got to
It's
figure
not
it
just
out.
a name. Maybe I'm getting that
Okay.
wrong. I'll say
The final thing I have for you though
yeah.
is the final World Cup fact this year is amazing. There are 4 players in the World Cup 2026 who played in Germany 2006.
2006 to 2026.
Yeah. So
4
they
players.
played in 06, 12,
Mexican goalkeeper.
18, 22, which ended up in 23, and now 26. 5th World Cup. Records all over the shop.
Roger Milla.
So, first of all, that was my red herring. That was the one I thought was going to be difficult. So, amazingly discovered by you. Yes, Ochoa, the Mexican goalkeeper. This will be his 5th World Cup. Who
I don't
else?
know any of the rest of them.
You absolutely do.
Do I?
Who's the most famous footballer in the world?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've blocked him from my brain. All right, yeah.
Cristiano
Okay,
Ronaldo
yeah.
will be in his 5th World Cup.
Running around like the massive boat anchor that he is.
Miroslav Klose did it and Germany won the World Cup. All you got to have is the 10 players behind you doing their job. You just bang the balls in the back of the net.
Yeah, Miroslav Klose did, but I mean, I think he played in a different way and he didn't overshadow the whole team. He didn't slow down the play.
I think this is Portugal's World Cup. Just saying that now.
Maybe if he gets injured, doesn't play. Yeah, go on.
Okay, so...
You love him. You love him.
I love him as a
okay,
footballer.
go on.
Yeah. So, Ochoa, Ronaldo, 2 more. Very well known.
Give me the teams.
No, because you'll get them straight away if I give you the teams.
Go on, give me the
Think about who's got the longevity. Who else is that kind of age?
Messi.
Leo Messi.
Okay.
This is his 5th World Cup. Really? Yeah.
And your man, Olivier Giroud, didn't get in, did he?
No, not Olivier.
Give me the team, go on.
Croatia.
Oh, now I love him. Luka Modric. I absolutely love Luka Modric.
5th World Cup as well. Isn't that wild? Think
Croatia, in terms of its population, I think only has about 5 million people. And in terms of sport, and in terms of sport since independence in the 1990s, they are absolutely incredible.
Yeah. And I mean, look, as I said, I'm there for Portugal. I just think the midfield of Portugal is my favourite midfield possibly ever assembled. You've got Vitinha, João Neves, and Bruno Fernandes. I just think that midfield deserves to win the World Cup. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I'd happily end my football watching and watch his career end with Bruno Fernandes having won nothing. I would just domestically, internationally.
He's won loads.
Not really that's important.
Keep an eye out for the older generation at the World Cup, and let's see how effective they are. Messi, of course, won for Argentina last time out in 2022. So there's your 4 players who are still playing since Germany. I went to the Germany World Cup. I was at Sweden-Germany in Munich in 2006. I've never been in a busier place than whatever stop on the German Munich metro I got on in 2006 to go to the game. Because in their wisdom, which was unlike the Germans, they decided to screen the match. Yeah. So for those of us who couldn't get to, now I'm going to get this wrong, it was either in the Olympiastadion or in the Allianz Arena. But whichever it was on, they screened it. I think it was in the...
Screened in the other one?
I think, yes. So I think it was in the Allianz Arena and they screened it in the Olympiastadion. They're basically in the same place. So you had 60,000 people going to watch the match and 60,000 people going to watch the match on one train.
Wow.
Like I'm a big man. I was picked up by the wave of people and carried across the platform. Like my little tiny half my size wife, I was just gripping onto her hand. How we survived.
She was never seen again.
No,
that's yeah. You still went to the match, though,
yeah,
didn't you?
I did. Listen,
just
great seats,
stretched out in 2 seats.
I needed it after being so crunched on the
3
train.
days.
Anyway,
I'm glad you
there's my World Cup facts for you today.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Japan because we're going to go to Japan in the part 2 as well. Excellent. And we will talk about some remarkable things. Unremarkable is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence in part 2.
Let's do it.
Welcome back to part 2 of Why Would You Tell Me That? I have been looking stuff up in the interval.
Oh yes, we wanted to see were there any father-son combinations.
And I said it, first father and son to play for their national football, brackets, soccer team in the same match. And it was 24th of April 1996. Father and son, Arnor and Eidur Gudjohnsen. So Arnor was 34 and Eidur was 17 and they played together. He replaced his dad.
I'm disappointed, not by the fact that you're right, not by the fact that this has happened, but by the fact that everything I knew about the Icelandic naming convention has been disproved by the fact that Eidur Gudjonsen's dad was called Arnor. Because my understanding was
Eidur
Gudjonsson was meant that Eidur was the son of Gudjon.
Yeah,
so his
so-
dad should have been called Gudjon, whatever his name was.
No, but
Dad's name was Son.
No, so Arner Good Johnson should have been fine, but it should have been Good Arnerson.
Good Arnerson. Or Arnerson even.
Wow.
So anyway, that's what's annoyed me there. Johan Cruyff and Jordi Cruyff both lined out together for Dutch club. That Dutch club Alaves. Alaves is not Dutch, it's Spanish. In 1996, Johan was 49. Made a brief comeback. Rivaldo and his son Rivaldinho played together in 2015. And Hristo Stoichkov played alongside his son-in-law. So it doesn't quite make the father and son thing. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but Mick McCarthy and his son Barry McCarthy played together for Loughborough University in a testimonial game.
Wow.
I want that to be true.
That is class. Mick McCarthy's terrifying.
Have you seen Mick McCarthy's Paddy Power ad?
Yeah, it can.
It can. It can. So good.
Okay. I have a quick question for you.
Hit me.
As is my want. When was the last fighting of the Second World War done? I'll give you a clue.
It wasn't 1945. Is that
Well, it started off. Well, okay. Victory over Japan, VJ Day, right?
Yeah.
Victory over Japan Day is the day in which Imperial Japan said, we're out, we're done.
Right.
And that is the 15th of August, 1945.
Okay.
In the UK. Now
the
it's
UK.
Yeah, in America it's actually I was going to say celebrated, commemorated on the 2nd of September when the surrender document was signed.
So a couple of weeks later.
Yeah, so that's your starting point, I would suggest.
So fighting and stuff. So, okay, this is the official, like, the Imperial Japan going, lads, we're out.
We're gone.
And
We're
then,
done.
well, we got to sign a paper.
Yeah.
I'm a bit busy. Can I just put the country back together and then sign it next week?
Yeah.
Sure. 2 weeks later to sign it.
Yeah.
When did the fighting stop?
Yeah. Last person.
I will say it lasted until December 45.
1974.
Stop it. No, it didn't.
You know the stereotype of that you've seen in various different like cartoons in particular, but in pop culture a lot of the time, the Japanese soldier coming out of the jungle still fighting.
Okay, right.
Yeah. So there were several who held out, right?
Right.
So I spent yesterday reading about Hiroo Onoda, and he's the most famous one. So 1974 is when he gave up.
That's 29 years later.
So think about this. He was meant to do 8 months and he did 342 months.
Oh my God.
If my support act went over by that much, I'd be flashing the red light at him at 9 months, never mind 8 months, right? I'd just be he did 42 times more than he was meant to do.
That's
if you went in
crazy.
and asked for 6 chicken nuggets and they gave you 256 chicken nuggets, you'd
You'd be
like,
delighted.
this is absolutely
But-
amazing. 42 point something more. Yeah. Very interesting story. So he's the kind of one that's famous. Like Werner Herzog wrote a novel about him.
Right.
There's films
Right.
about him.
Okay.
Like 10,000 Nights. I'm trying to remember the name of it anyway. So he was born in 19. Let me see if I can find it here. But no, anyway, he was conscripted in 1942. He was born in 1922. He was conscripted in 1942, right? And this is quite important what part of the army he was in.
Okay.
Right. By the way, when he gave up, this is what he was found with. Right. So 29 odd years later, he turned over a sword, a functioning Type 99 rifle made by Arasaka, 500 rounds of ammunition.
He hadn't shot a single thing. He was just sitting on it the whole time. Bang, bang, he was shouting.
He's shouting in the jungle. Bang! I have a gun.
I'm not afraid to use it.
I have a gun. My mother once went, this is in the slide, once heard noises in the back of we had a shed
Right.
at the back of the garage, and she heard noises, and my mother came out and did that reading at mass voice going, my husband will be home at any moment. You better get out of here. She didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And they opened the door and it was a goat had gotten into the
shed.
but she had given a full on bang bang. I have a gun and I'm prepared to use it.
I'm unsheathing my sword now.
Yeah.
Shing!
Yeah. Apparently she was anyway. So yeah, he had several hand grenades, 500 rounds of ammunition, and the rifle, and you know the way sometimes there's a sentence that you go, yeah, they were a different culture.
Yeah.
He also had a dagger that his man gave him in 1944 to kill himself if he was captured.
Of course.
Now I love you. I love you. Your
but
dad loves you.
The honourable thing to do.
But, and listen, I don't want you banging your head off a rock.
No.
I mean, that's going to bring shame on the family.
Oh, wow.
Put this in your bowels now.
Ceremonial dagger.
Yeah. He held out for 28 years, 6 months and 8 days. 10,416 days after Japan's surrender in 1945.
Okay, I think there are a number of issues here.
Yes, I thought you might.
Number one is, who was he fighting against? He didn't fire any rounds if he had 500 rounds left. I mean, they're heavy. They're carrying 500 around the place. So he obviously, repeatedly did not see enemy soldiers. So that's...
Well, there kind of were no enemy soldiers.
Okay, so I'm putting that on him.
Okay.
That one's on him. Check, ask, read the newspaper, watch the telly, find out. Second of all, on the army, shouldn't they have tried to find a few heads?
Well,
communicate with them,
well,
issue some kind of missive.
This is why it's so interesting,
right?
Because it's about what you believe and what you dismiss as fake news.
Oh,
so right, he was sent to the Futamata branch of the Nakano Military School.
Okay,
he was trained in guerrilla tactics. Mm-hmm. His training defied the widely distributed battlefield code instructions, which forbade Japanese combatants from being taken prisoner,
right,
and instructed them to die fighting or via self-sacrifice as well. So the rest of the normal punters
had this as
right,
rules.
and his ma went.
Yeah.
Presumably, maybe when he was called up, she didn't know where he was going to go. But no, you are absolutely forbidden to die by your own hand. He was told upon being sent to Lubang. Lubang is part of the islands of the Philippines, and Lubang is one particular island of the Lubang group as well. In 1944, as he recalled in his 1974 documentary, "No Surrender, My 30-Year War. Under no circumstances are you to give up your life voluntarily."
Right.
Right? Now, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
So that's why he didn't dispatch himself.
Yeah.
Second thing is, I was thinking, okay, Lubang Island, right? So he's remained hidden there for the guts of 30 years.
And he is hidden. He's not just wandering around with the locals, fitting in, going for pints.
No, he didn't know. He's not going for... Very much not doing that.
Right.
I thought, well, obviously, it's in dense jungle. We know that.
Sure.
But it's probably miles and miles and miles away from Manila.
Yeah.
It's probably massive. It's 73 miles from Manila, and it's 48 square miles.
Stop.
Imagine right now, 28 years. It's 28 years after the Good Friday Agreement. There's one lad in the Mourne Mountains just worrying sheep and robbing orchards. That's what it is.
Do you think?
Yeah.
That really what happened is he just didn't want to go back to his missus, and he was like, "I'm just gonna say I was fighting the war." And then he settled down somewhere in the jungle.
And then I left it too long.
I've
left it too long.
I feel like I can't go back now at this stage.
It's like when you meet someone and you've forgotten their name. Yeah. And once you've forgotten their name a couple of times, you've left it too long.
At what point can you ask, exactly what their name? Yeah, no, I think that maybe that's how. I think he just went, you know what, lads, it's nice here in Lubang. Good weather, dense jungle cover, food's all right. I don't have to shoot any weapons.
Right. So let's get into it then. Right, his mission was to destroy the island's airstrip and the pier at its harbour.
Right.
At the sorry, let me say that again. His mission was to destroy the island's airstrip and the pier at its harbour ahead of the Allied invasion.
Okay.
And he says you cannot take your own life. Okay. When he arrived on Lubang, he encountered officers who outranked him and prevented him from carrying out his mission, which aided American and Philippine resistance movements. Right. After a short period, all but Second Lieutenant Onoda and 3 other soldiers, we had Akatsu, Shimada, and Kazuka, had died and surrendered. So Onoda led the 3 men into the island's mountains. Right. This is what he did. So he camps out. How long did they live? Well, they store rice, cattle, coconuts, bananas, and they carried on guerrilla activities. They successfully evaded American search parties, Filipino search parties, and they attacked civilians.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, okay. So the first time, they dropped leaflets. They dropped leaflets and went, The war's over, lads.
Yeah.
Because
On you go.
there was a few bits and pieces of stragglers, shall we say, all
over the island. Yeah.
And all over the Pacific kind of war theatre, right? So the first time Onoda's group saw a leaflet announcing that Japan had surrendered, it was October 1945.
Okay, that was kind of, I went December, but okay. But October they got the leaflet.
So a separate group of Japanese holdouts showed them a note left behind by islanders that read, "The war ended on the 15th of August, come down from the mountains." And they said, Allied propaganda.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't believe it.
Yeah. Near the end of 45, leaflets with a surrender order from General Yamashita of the Japanese 14th Area Army were dropped. And Onoda's group studied them and went, no, they're not real as well.
Assessed them, said, no, we're not believing this.
Not believing this.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's 1945, right? Akatsu separated from the group in 1949. Like, wuss.
So 4 years later.
And after 6 months on his own, he surrendered to the Philippine forces in 1950.
Yeah, and presumably he surrendered and was then like, the war's over, home you go, mate. Like, it wasn't like surrendered and you were incarcerated. Like,
no. When your man surrendered in the end, and we'll get to that, he was given a full pardon by the Philippines.
Right, okay.
Right, and Marcos, Ferdinand Marcos.
Oh, yeah.
So he met, yeah. So the others considered that this was Akatsu, that was a desertion, and they became paranoid.
Right, okay.
1952, February, letters from the three soldiers' families urging their surrender, along with family photographs that were dropped by air. It's a trick.
It's a trick.
How did they know all this stuff about my family? It's literally photographs and presumed letters. You know, you'd write something in the letter that only your mom, your mum or dad could know. Or maybe the mum and dad didn't do that because they went, well, he's not that mad that I have to convince him. But
come on home, son. Your dinner's ready.
Yeah. Would you like to give up the war? Yeah. No, I'm staying here.
So they just effectively were conspiracy theorists. Just didn't believe anything.
Yes. See, this is why people are still making films about it now, because there's certain cult-like resonances with people now. You know the way that people say that there's a certain percentage of Donald Trump's base, for example, that he could do literally anything,
and they would, no matter what,
accept it.
Yeah.
Well, there's a level of that, you know. So Akatsu surrenders, right? Shimada is wounded in the leg in 53.
See, that's only going to reinforce, unless he's wounded by accidentally falling on something. If he's attacked / shot / something,
local fishermen,
it's going to just they're going to go, see what happened? Yeah. See what happened? We tried to come down and...
Yeah, exactly. There's still a war on, right? Onoda nursed him back to health, and then the 7th of May, 54, so he shot in June 53, Shimada was killed in a shootout with the Philippine Army.
So the Philippine Army,
mountain unit.
They're definitely believing that the war is still on.
Which accidentally encountered the soldiers, right?
And then had to get involved in a shooting match, yeah.
Okay, so then Kozuka, 1972, was killed in a shootout with local police while conducting a recurring raid in which he and Onoda would burn piles of rice harvested by villagers. Because it's guerrilla.
Guerrilla warfare, yeah.
Which they intended as a signal to fellow Japanese forces. The lads are going to come out with this.
They'll come out and help us.
All the lads are home. All the lads are home since, I'm designing...
It's almost 10 years they've been home.
No, this is October 1972. Kozuka's killed.
Oh, that's as far as that? Okay, oh my God.
Yeah, right. So he's on his own from 72 on.
Jeepers.
In 74, there was a guy called Norio Suzuki, and he's a Japanese adventure guy, and he sounds like completely out there. He was described as a hippie by Onoda, and he was traveling around the world, this guy, and he told friends, I'm going to go and look for him.
Look for your man.
He says, I'm going to go look for Lieutenant or Lieutenant, whichever way you want to pronounce it, Onoda, a panda, and the abominable snowman in that order. He finds him after 4 days.
Stop.
Right? And Onoda says, this hippie boy Suzuki came to the island to listen to the feelings of a Japanese soldier. And they became friends, but he still says, I'm not going to surrender.
So he just, even though people are telling him for now, the guts of 30 years, he just does not believe that surrender is the option.
Yeah, in 59, I think it was in 59, the Japanese authorities declared him dead.
Yeah.
It's weird because the guy knows he's there.
Yeah.
And Suzuki obviously says, listen, we've dropped leaflets, your family has said, and he's like, no. Of course they dropped leaflets. That's my family, that's what they'd
That's
want me to think.
yeah.
That's exactly what
That's-
the Americans would say.
That's exactly what someone who wants me to come down and get
Yeah,
shot would say.
Exactly. So he's on his own. Like, even on his own, been on his own for a couple of years.
Yeah, that's rough.
But he is leading raids, right?
Still.
He is still, well, he's still...
Because he has to eat. He has to
eat, yeah, and he's still so like if you're convinced enough
Yeah.
that the war is still on, presumably you're convinced enough to do horrible things, and he has been accused of horrible things, and we'll get to that in a second. He says, "I'm only going to go if I get orders from my commanding officer."
Who presumably at this point is probably dead, just through old age.
He named a Major Hashimi. Well, this guy is only what? He's 20 in 1942, so you know
he's 54.
Yeah, 1922 to 1974. Yeah, he's 52, isn't he?
Yeah.
So his commanding officer could be 10 years
Could
older.
be, yeah,
right?
could be, yeah.
He named Major Hashimi Taniguchi.
Yes. If you're enjoying Neil attempting to pronounce the names of these Japanese soldiers as much as I am, please write in at
Yeah, but you don't. This could be.
No, it doesn't matter. It's not that you've even committed to it. Everything is like.
It could.
I'm terrified.
But this could be perfectly pronounced. You don't know. Maybe I have.
Maybe you do.
I've been practicing for
you
hours.
You've got a knock in the head. You've got fluent dysphagia, and now you can speak Japanese.
So this is what he said. Although, by the way, you're right. His immediate superior was deceased. Anyway, so he says, I have to get orders from this specific dude. Suzuki, the guy who's the adventurer, goes back to Japan with photographs of Onoda. Okay. And presumably those days, people aren't going, that's Photoshop. We never found them. They found the superior officer, who was a bookseller.
Of course he was.
So your man goes, all right, I'll go with you. He goes back to Lubang Island with Suzuki. 9th of March, met with him, issued him the following orders. 1, in accordance with the Imperial Command, the 14th Area Army has ceased all combat activity.
Right.
2, in accordance with Military Headquarters Command number A2003, the Special Squadron in the Chief of Staff's headquarters is relieved of all military duties. And 3, units and individuals under the command of the Special Squadron are to cease military activities and operations immediately and place themselves under the command of the nearest superior officer. When no officer can be found, they are to communicate with the American or Philippine forces and follow their directives.
Okay, so he goes and gives them these. Does he finally then, because he said, I'll only believe it when he gets his when, does he believe it?
Yeah.
Good.
He was then relieved of duty on the 10th of March 1974. Surrendered to the Philippine forces at the Lubang radar base.
Tell you what, he'd have some pension.
He'd have back pay.
He's done his years.
Yeah. Well, he
imagine how much PRSI he's built up.
Oh my God! Stamps coming out.
Free eye tests for generations. I've created generational wealth of eye tests and bone density tests.
They're just throwing hearing aids at him. You knock yourself out. Here's a bus pass. He actually gave himself a paper cut from the bus pass and died 4 minutes after he was taken into Philippine custody. Yeah, surrendered to President the President of the Philippines, Marcos.
Brilliant.
Famously, obviously, of the Marcos and Imelda Marcos and all those and all the shoes dynasty. Full pardon for the crimes in hiding.
Okay.
Now, there's a couple of interesting things about this. 1, not the longest have held out.
What?
Only Private Teruo Nakamura, arrested on the 18th of March 1974 in Indonesia, held out longer.
Oh my God.
Now, he wasn't native Japanese. He's a guy from Taiwan originally. And I think he was just living his life in a relatively peaceful way, like he said.
That's the way I'd be doing it.
But this guy, and so there's been criticism of some of the coverage of films about him and books about him, because the Philippine Islanders Lubang he killed 30 people.
Oh my God.
30 people. And they were saying 30 civilians. Now, this guy hadn't mentioned this in his autobiography when he went home. By the way, when he went home, he was complete hero.
Of course.
Wrote a best-selling novel.
Right, because...
Which earned him a lot of money.
Not a biography, a novel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, a biography. Yeah, a biography. No Surrender, My 30-Year War, as we said, 1974. But they said, well, where's the coverage of all the crimes he did?
Yeah.
Now, it has been mentioned in certain films, but not necessarily in every single thing that documents his time away. and he died in 2014.
Stop.
He was
another
91.
30 years, 40 years.
40 years.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
That
so
is.
he wasn't the longest, and he went off and he became. He went to Brazil and he used to spend 3 months a year and became a cattle farmer out in Brazil. He did a couple of weird
Man loved
things.
the jungle. He loved the jungle.
Yeah, cattle farmer, Brazil.
Amazing.
Imagine being that convinced of anything.
No, I'm not that convinced. No, about anything.
Okay,
I would flip flop in a second.
Also, when he came back, presumably he has to remain hidden, right, for 30 odd years. So he's raiding, and presumably, by the way, he has 500 rounds of ammunition because he's stealing some ammunition.
Okay,
He
yeah.
must be restocking every so often,
okay,
right?
fair enough.
By the way, he surrenders in his jersey in his uniform that is still tattered, but it's still
the proper uniform. So he still
has it, right? What do you think what stuff they had to convince him of when he came back to the real world?
Because he would have. So if he went into war in 1942, 1944, where he was in. Okay,
yeah, onto Lubang Island.
Island. So for
Lubang, maybe
pretty much 30 years, like society has moved on so much in 30 years.
Like moon landings. Has he heard about the moon landings in 69?
He hasn't.
Has he heard about the death of the American president?
Has he seen modern cars, like fax machines? Like there are things in 74 that exist that did not exist in 1944.
Yeah. What's that big wall in the middle of Berlin? Oh, we've loads to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Munich Olympics. Nah, that was not good. Yeah. All that stuff.
That's
He's missed
wild.
all. Like, how would you not have a kind of a psychotic break?
You probably would, and maybe that's why he's gone to Brazil to raise cattle.
Yeah, he used to come back to Japan though because this is very strange. In 1996, right, he arranged. In 1996, he visited a town in Lubang after his wife arranged a $10,000 scholarship donation on his behalf to the local school. The town council presented Onoda with a resolution asking him to compensate the families of 7 people who he had allegedly killed, and about 50 close relatives of the alleged victims staged a protest against his visit. So, while he was welcomed home as a hero by some in Japan, not everybody, by the way, not everybody, because at that time as well, there was a lot of people in Japan, from what I have read. Now, obviously, it's kind of very surface stuff, but a lot of people there beginning to go, okay, we had a certain part in the war, and we need to recognize that to move on. Then another lot of people going, no, well, he's a hero, he held out for that long, and this is kind of. But it's a testament to, one, what you can convince yourself of, and two, what they were able to convince a fairly young man at the time.
Sure.
But that sort of, I'm going to say, convincing in the 1940s that they did of him lasted.
Yeah.
Like, as a father of 4, you could surely be just jealous of that level of brainwashing.
It's impressive. It is absolutely impressive.
Imagine getting your young lads to do anything
my young lad
for 30 years.
To put the bowl of cereal back into the sink. I mean, that would be, I would spend 30 years doing that.
There you go. Died 16th of January 2014 after heart failure from pneumonia, but has lived on in numerous different. 10,000 Nights in the Jungle was a 2021 French film, and as I said, The Twilight World, a 2021 novel by German director Werner Herzog about him. Yeah. So people are still fascinated by that.
Fascinating.
There you go. Join us on the bonus episode, which will be released in a couple of days, and we'll see you next time.
Good luck.